Good morning everyone, good afternoon, good evening. So sa lahat ng pagbati sa ating umagang ito and ito po ay magandang morning. Actually, it's already morning and I'm very happy to be with you today and sad as well kasi I'm a little bit sad kasi I cannot meet you on face to face talaga because of the different activities that we need to partake on. And supposedly ang mga lessons talaga ay ibinibigay siya na medyo later on. Kaya lang, I have to admit it's really hard for us to accommodate this activity dahil nga uh, we have a lot of activities that we need to do. So, without further ado, let us now begin our discussion for today and because this will be part of your examination. So, let's dig in. So, right, so welcome to Introduction to Linguistics. Nandito tayo sa part na to. And I won't be sending this to you, so it's up to you for screenshots. All of the lessons, activities that we'll be doing here would be uh, all of these things I will not be given to you. It's up to you to review, to screenshot, to take notes of the lecture, but I won't be giving you anything. So, screenshot nyo na lang siya. Kasi, ayun. So, because I'll be checking your notebook as well. So, lesson number 2, linguistic theories and models. This lesson focuses on the exploring key theories and models of language of acquisition. So, I know we have discussed different theories before, but let us further our discussion. So, this will be part of your examination as well. So, now, let us begin with the behaviorism theory. So we know that behaviorism is mainly about the behaviors of an individual. It is led by Mr. B.F. Skinner. He suggests that learning a language relies heavily in imitation, repetition, and practice. In this view, teacher must be highly skilled or speak like native speakers to ensure learners mimic the correct language patterns. So for example, usually teachers who uses behaviorism they tend to be OA, but in a way that you will follow. Usually, behaviorism is used for language, foreign language learners, in which you can imitate the words. It's a beginning point, or for elementary students. Like for example, when we discuss different greetings. Okay. Okay, I'll give you a scenario. For example, you're an elementary teacher or a foreign language teacher, and then we will start with the greetings. Okay, repeat after me. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Okay, so now you see that is a female, older woman. So, good morning, ma'am. Again, good morning, ma'am. All right, next, we'll need to greet a man. Okay, so good morning, sir. Repeat after me. Good morning, sir. And then the students would repeat. And then as a teacher, you will now change from good morning. Let us now have good afternoon because it's already black in the morning. So the teacher will then repeat after me. Good afternoon, ma'am. Then repeat again. Good afternoon, ma'am. So we will start with this language. And as a teacher, since you are a behaviorist teacher and they will observe the things you are saying, they will do the things that you're doing. That's why you always need to have a proper attitude, proper way inside of the class because they'll be checking on you. For example, when you discuss the words, since you want to they want them to learn English from you. That's why your pronunciation, your articulation, yeah, so that's what you should do because you want them to learn from you and they want them to imitate you. I know you may be laughing. I remember I have a teacher before. She's like that, elementary teacher. And whenever we greet her, it's good morning, Mrs. Calderon. Kasi she wants us to proper intonation and even if we are imitating her, it's okay. It's fine. because she wants us to be like that. So we're imitating her. Now she gets what she wants. Now for some teachers, they're not like that. Because if, for example, you keep on saying, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, but you cannot. And they cannot observe that from you. Pag behaviorist ka, you need to make sure that the things that they have observed, because you know, one way or another, your students will make fun of you, or maybe their students will imitate you per se. Pero it's okay as long as they're imitating what you're doing and what you're doing is correct. Then they will remember you and they will do the same. Diba? So that's at least they are in the right track. So next is we have nativism. By the way, for behaviorism, they have habit formation. Ayan. But the problem is, it is said that what the kids can see, they imitate. But now, there are some people who claim na, okay, they can always imitate. I mean, human beings are only capable of imitating because they're human beings. And it means that only people who are, and as a human being, it is already in us. It's already in us. The things that we could do, the reason why we could speak, and unlike animals, a human being, it's in us. It's innate. That is why there's a limitation of behaviorism. Kasi even if you tell this to your dog always witness how sassy you look, or how sassy you speak, and they could imitate you, but they cannot tell you how to do it. For example, Ariana Grande, maybe you're Toulouse, Toulouse, hi Toulouse, diba? Toulouse cannot kahit hindi niya ano yun, di ba? Even in Siberian Husky, which we've seen videos na ganon. They cannot say, I love you. And we human beings know how to say I love you in different manner. We can say it, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay, so we could say it in different way. Huskies can only say that in one way because we have different meanings for that. That paved the way for nativism or innatism. That's from Noam Chomsky. The leading advocate of nativism disagreed. According to him, humans are born with language acquisition device in their brain, enabling them to learn language quickly and create endless new sentences. According to Chomsky, this lad guided by universal grammar set of rules and common languages. So how does lad works? Yeah. Ay, sorry. A child learning past tense may generalize by saying, I hurted myself, assuming because he notices that when something happens in the past without him knowing the rules, he will definitely we will definitely add ed. But actually, later we will correct, no, there's no word when we say hurt, it's only hurt in the past tense and in the present tense. It's still the same, no hurted. Now I realize that not all language have ed. Not all verbs rather have ed. Okay, so but come to think of it, they did they imitated you. Okay, and then they add the things that they already have. So nagiging hurted siya. So nativism emphasizes that children have an innate ability to hypothesize and refine their language skills. So they could do it, and they are observing they are observing adults, and then they will realize, ay okay, meron palang ganon. They understand, and then they will imitate. Okay? So that's why it's our task adults to make sure that we could pave the way for this matter. During childhood and may not explain the second language learning adult limitation in the development of interactionist. Now, as an adult, we need to understand that, hey, wait, yes, you are correct. Tama ka dyan. Kasi, as an adult, we need to make sure that the students learn these languages eh. Diba? So, wait, by the way, wait for a moment muna. I'll be back for a while. Wait. Alright, thank you very much. So I was actually checking. So ko parang, I will, did I already discuss this? So then I checked the previous video, so I have it. So let's go back. Now, the question is, some of them are telling, wait, just wait for a moment. It doesn't mean that they they could they are they it's in it them that students will now learn. Okay. Now, the question is, how will they learn? Kasi you said, Dong Chomsky, that a child will learn the language because there is a person who's teaching them. But the problem is, what if will they learn, even if it's innate them, will they learn the language? And that paved the way for the interactionist. And interactionism blends ideas from both behaviorism and nativism. It argues that language development is influenced by both biological abilities and social interactions. According to this view, children have natural ability to learn language but need the help of the environment to reach their full potential. So, for example, a child who's now a child who is now um who doesn't, maybe let's say, sorry for this but let's say a child does not have the parents, his or her parents, um his or her parents guidance support for learning, or they're very busy. Now, the child has innate him as innate is him. This child could easily learn the language because he's a human being. But the problem is the parents is Mia, or missing in action. They're very busy with their work, they're very busy with their business, and there's no interaction. Yes, they need to see behavior, and then they also are capable of, but there's no interaction. Imagine if you raise two different kids. One, you raise it in isolation, as in this kid doesn't talk to anyone. Of course, that would be he or she will not be able to speak with using that language. Or maybe I remember there was this some theories. For not theories, but some experiments. There was a king. It was said that there's a king. I forgot this one, but this is a lesson when we were in college. There's this king who have a twin. And then in order to test this king, whether a kid will learn the language, just because the orphans, what he did is they separate the two of them. One grew up in a family in which this kid could learn how to talk. And the other one grew up with a mute shepherd, which is the shepherd cannot speak. And of course, he can only hear the sounds of the lamb. Now, what happened after 7 years, I think, and these two siblings met. The kid who grew up with the family can speak fluently, while the other kid, he or she cannot speak na. Kasi she didn't hear, and this kid didn't hear anything. And that's why the vocal cords will eventually, it's hard for them na hindi kaya na nag-speak. That is why it is very crucial that although it really sucks to be with a kid sometimes, especially if it's not your kid, sabi, please stop talking. You keep on talking and talking and talking. We need to interact with the kid because it's very helpful for them that we interact with them. Yes, as a human being, our brain has a LAD in which we have innate capabilities to speak, but it doesn't mean we could speak without the help of other people. So it's very important that we interact with them. That's why during the pandemic, we keep on stimulating the vocal cords of the kids by talking to them since they don't have classmates. And it's very crucial for them also to be with other people as well. Kaya nga may mga play dates. That's why we keep on playing with them. That's why they could practice their social, not just their social skills, but all of the skills that they need to have. And in this one, Lev Vygotsky, a social interaction theory, is a key part of this idea. He proposed two concepts. We have zone of actual development, what a child can do on their own, and zone of proximal development, what a child can achieve with guidance and support for a more knowledgeable others, which is the parent and the teacher. That's why it's really hard to become a teacher of elementary students, especially the learners, the first few learnings of their life. It's hard to become a parent because now you need to make sure that the kid could not it has an access to not just with the toys or the essentials, but to the experience in which he or she could talk to someone. Minsan nga ang kulit eh. I remember there was it's really boring to talk with a kid because you already know what this kid is talking about. You're getting bored. But it's really important to play with the kid, interact with the kid, because if not, it would be hard for them to speak fluently. Kailangan meron tayong MKOs or more knowledgeable adult. Okay. So example, a child might struggle to describe their day, but with prompts from a teacher like, what did you eat for lunch? They can expand their response and build confidence. Sometimes it's not about asking question, what did you do today? But as a parent, we could also, as a teacher, we could also ask simple questions such as, okay, so how's your day, anak? My day is fun. Why is it fun? Can you tell me why? What happened to your friends? My friend is blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. So then, when she does it, what happened? Ah, okay, that's really nice. And then, okay, what did you eat? Did you eat your baon I gave you? Ah, okay, you trade it with your friend. That's good. Okay, so what do you want to eat? So it's nice to talk to the kid. Okay, so now let's check your understanding in your notebook. Write your answers. Observe correct spelling. The use of correction tape and pencil is not allowed. So siguro this time I'll allow you to use. Don't worry. Sige, buruhin natin to. Okay, this one. So check your understanding. Ala, anyari. Wait lang. Wait for a while. So, ibablock ko na lang to so that you could not see it. Anyway, i-read pala dapat. So, you don't need to use this one. Ay, mali. Sorry. Ayan. So, you don't need to follow that one. Ayan. Let's check your understanding. Sorry. Let's check your understanding. In your notebook, write your answers. But for this one, write the questions and your answers. So, of course, observe correct spelling. Let's read this one. So, you may screenshot this 1 to 5 while you do the activity. Or just pause it so that you could copy and answer. So, I'll be giving you 2 minutes to do so. Baka sabihin niyo, mabilis sa video. Okay, so 2 minutes it is. All right. So, yeah, let's now go to our next one. Now we have the monitor model. The monitor model is proposed by Stephen Krashen. And luckily, my dear, Stephen Krashen is still alive and kicking. They are also known as the input hypothesis. It highlights that language acquisition involves both biological and social aspects. This model consists of five interrelated hypotheses that explain the process of acquiring language. So when we acquire language, you will think, paano nga ba natin na-acquire ang language? So let us now start with the input hypothesis. So according to Stephen Krashen, uh, let us, sorry, hindi ba ako nang gamit? Ito lang, tama naman, okay. Let's start with a common question. How can we best learn a second language or foreign language? According to Stephen Krashen, he offers an interesting answer. He suggests that language skills aren't something you can simply teach someone step by step. Instead, it should be developed naturally, like how children learn the first language. According to Krashen, the best and perhaps the only way to truly learn a language is by receiving plenty of meaningful input from a rich, engaging environment. This means learning should be exposed language that is just a little beyond their current level of understanding, something he calls I plus one. Imagine a beginner English learner listening to a storybook that uses mostly familiar words, but he introduced new ones and supported it by pictures. They might not fully understand a single word, but context helps them figure it out. Over time, this kind of exposure helps the learners to naturally acquire the language. So teachers, if the key provide understand with this I plus one impulse, this is include activities watching short videos with subtitles. Okay, so I'll give you another example based on this. So as a teacher, isn't it when we learn in the input hypothesis, it is imagined that we have plenty of environment in which we could, let's say, we have many experiences, many I forgot the term we use this pero we need to make sure that we have plenty of stimulations, plenty of activities. Like for example, sabi nga dito, there's short story. So as a teacher, for example, I want to teach you something new. So in order for me to teach you something new is to provide interesting inputs. Like for example, I'll be introducing the word let's say this is easy. One of the hardest word for me before is reservoir. I don't know if you're familiar with reservoir, but it's usually this is where water are in. This is it's a teka, I'll be searching for the term because I forgot the term. I just will know the meaning of it in my at the back of my mind. So reservoir. Wa- Mali. I have searched a movie. Is it? Reservoir search. Okay, so reservoir is a large or artificial lake used for water supply. So that's a hard word for me when I was in elementary the first time. So for instance, I have reservoir and I am upping your language. So what I could do is I could use pictures to help you understand reservoir. I could give you a sentences in which it includes and casually injecting reservoir in it, or maybe OAing the words because it's stimulus parang reservoir. Parang it's a term we use right now, LSS. Sabi ko na ano ko na LS syndrome, LSS syndrome. Wow, Lastrom syndrome. So LSS. Sorry, that's what happens when we keep on hearing and hearing these words and oh my God, stop it. I don't want to hear it anymore. So parang ganon, di ba? So that's a type of things. O, kunwari yung cheer natin sa benchel, di ba? So, lagi niyo siyang nadinig. If you join the parade and you keep on hearing and hearing and hearing the bench yell na Meneses, we are I forgot the word, but the words keep on saying, singing. Okay, so those things. So as a teacher, if we want to introduce something, a new language perhaps, we need to make sure that the experience is loaded with fun, not with boring stuff, because it associates the student. Oh, it's so boring. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. Everything. So I don't want to feel it. Ayoko na. Ayoko na. Ayoko na. Okay, so those things. So as a teacher, we need to introduce it little by little, di ba? So effective filter hypothesis. So we're done with the first input. So how we could input it? We could input it by giving probing questions and so on. Now, for effective filter, let's have the effective filter, in which Krashen describes as kind of gatekeeper for language learning. This filter can either help or block the flow of meaningful language inputs into the brain. What affects the filter? The emotions in anxiety, self-confidence, and motivation, and stress play a huge and big role for it. If a learner feels anxious or lacks confidence, their filter is very high. Make it harder for them to absorb the language. On other hand, when they feel motivated, relaxed, and their filter is very low. So a student was making a very big mistakes. That's why I keep on telling you this. My dear students, especially your first year students, you need to make sure that just for a while. Okay. So as a student, as a future teacher, in your class, this is the big time for you to commit mistakes. Language mistakes. It is when you are a first year student, second year student, because when you're third year, you're already FS2. And as an FS2, you will now meet other people and they will discover what is wrong with your language? Why do you speak like that? You are an English major student and yet she cannot speak the language. Ba? So, kinabahan ka na ngayon kasi sabi, oh my God, sobrang nakakahiya. I don't want to see them anymore. I don't want to go to my cooperating school. I'm depressed. So, sometimes that's the thing that you will do. I'm totally depressed, ma'am. I cannot do the demonstration teaching. I don't want to become a teacher anymore. Okay, so that's your problem. And that's a big problem, because when you have that kind of problem, you will not now study the language. But, my dear students, you are an English major and if you don't want to say, okay, I'm an English major, you are a college student. What does it mean? If you are a college student, it means that every single thing that you're doing right now must mean that you are already a graduate of senior high school student. This is just a simple matter, a trivial one, let's say. This very mababaw na. That's why you need to understand that you need to do this right now. And if we keep on saying and saying, Mom, I'm very anxious. I'm so scared to speak in the language. And then you will not learn because your affective filter is too high. It's like this. I'm very scared. My class may laugh at me. My classmates, I'm ashamed. So what? That is the answer. So what? If you commit mistakes, and what the hell? If you say that, Ma'am, kasi ayoko po na pagtawanan nila. Ano naman kung tumawa sila? You should laugh as well. Napakapikunin mo naman. And now you feel that you're being bullied. Sometimes there's a problem eh. We keep on saying that, Mom, I'm so scared of the things that they will say. But the world is like that. And what will you do? Just cry and cry and cry and cry and cry because the world is unfair. Big news, the world is unfair. This is our problem. This is just a common thing. It is never fair. And you know who makes it fair? The one that should make it fair? It's us teachers. We are the ones who's promoting these things. And how can we promote this kind of world in our class? How can we let our students learn that we're loved if we ourselves are very anxious about ourselves? If you think that your English grammar is worse than worse and worse, getting worse and what so on, what could you do? Right? That's not it. What you could do is study. That's the only thing that you could do. You study and make sure that every single day you are learning. That's it. That's how we deal with this stuff. You are an adult. If you have a problem, deal with the problem. If you cannot deal with the problem, let them. Let the problem go away until it is solvable. Oh, sobrang dami pong activities. Bakit ngayon bang oras na 'to kailangan lahat 'yan? Isn't it usually hindi siya sabay-sabay? Sometimes it will stop, it will end today, and then tomorrow, until nothing is in your plate anymore, and you're available to have new ones. That's life. And how can you be the person that you want to be if you don't accept these things? Simple matter. So that's why, when it comes to teaching, I don't want you to be, "Kakabahan po ako, mami. Sorry po kasi mahina po loob ko." Eh, bakit ka ba nagturo? Paano yung mga bata? How we're supposed to help the kids? This is a vocation. Kasi, ang dami po kasi project sa mga class na. Okay, newsflash, mayroon po tayong, madami po tayong activities talaga. And until now, we teachers, saan ako galing kagabi, napakadami kong ginawa din. Napakadami ko na rin ginagawa. And you may think that what you're doing right now is plenty. Lahat po tayo, madaming ginagawa. And that's why you need to calm down and start doing the things unti-unti until you finish it. And then you will feel, yes, tapos na, ang galing. I'm so proud of myself because you're the first person you need to be proud of. Hindi yan nanay mo, hindi yang tatay mo. You must be the first person you're proud of yourself. And the only thing that you could be proud of yourself is if you achieve something. Or if, for instance, you feel that you're lost, but no, you achieve something right now. So we say it. Right? So now, we have a very supporting environment. And then we have that's why these two things should be very important for us. And as a teacher, we need to give a very supporting environment to our students. No? Support environments where mistakes are okay. That's why you need to accept that in your class, mistakes are okay. Start with fun, low pressure games as teachers, pairing students with encouraging partners, and the student filter lowers and engage more freely. For teacher, the goal is design lessons that reduce stress and boost confidence. This might involve humor. That's why humor is very important. That's why when we teach, we include humor as much as possible. The students will laugh. Not because you're a clown, or not because you're doing something stupid, but they're laughing because it's easy for us. I remember when I was a student like you guys. My teacher is very strict. I actually love my teacher because I don't feel pressured with my teacher. Tawan-tawa ka dyan eh. There was a time that we are having child and adolescent development when, by the way, see you next semester. child and adolescent development, and we were discussing about breast milk. So breastfeeding for the exact place. So I was actually asking my teacher, sabi ko, what if I was like that? What if the boobs of the mother is too big? How can I how can I place the kid? I was actually thinking this. So this stupid question of mine, I asked my teacher. And I told ma'am, "Ma'am, paano po pag malaki yung dede?" I asked her like that. Sabi ni ma'am, "Dalhin mo sa Selecta." Diyos ko naman, dayan. Parang ganun. Tapos, I was actually laughing, but my classmates are not laughing. Because they're very scared of the teacher. And I was the only one who's laughing. And just imagine, no, is that the kind of environment that you would like your students to have? Maybe for some, yes, you would like to, but for some, you don't want it to because it's really boring. Sometimes a class that is very tense is not so fun, but actually it depends upon you. What kind of class do you want to have? But most of the time, for activities as teachers, as observers, we prefer class that is very fun. Communicative competence model. So we have this model. So when we say grammatical competence, it is the ability to use and understand grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure accurately. So this is actually one of the easiest. Easiest because there's when you understand the structure, that is the superficial level pa lang eh. Mababaw na level yan. Because there's a rule. There are certain rules eh. So, definitely, there's one correct thing. Yung grammar. There are certain rules, subject and verb agreement, capitalization, sentence patterns. There's one correct rule. And if you did that correctly, you're done. So situational student learning German correctly says "ich bin müde." Okay, using proper subject and verb agreement. So that is grammatical competence, and it's easier than social linguistic competence. Why? Because if we have social linguistics, you need to use it in different social contexts. And if it is a different language, you will think, how will I how will I say this without offending other people? How will I do this without offending other people? Or how can I convey this in this kind of situation? So this is a social linguistic competence. So a learner recognizes that while hey works when greeting a friend, in a job interview, it's not okay to say hey. Yeah. In Philippines, um, not all have po and opo. That is a Tagalog thing. And as for instance, you are in English, we also don't have po and opo. And it's not good if, for example, you mix and match. In Jollibee lang siya masarap. Pero in English, no. Good morning po. Sir, you would, may I ask if I could ask your permission po to go to the bathroom because ano po eh. Yeah, that one, that's very irritating. Please, do not mix and match Tagalog, um, Tagalog words to English words. I mean, the po and opo, and then you will put that in English. Please don't do that. It's irritating. It's very irritating. Don't do that. And it seems like you're not. I know that the reason why you put po and opo so that you could feel na nagagalang. But when you do that, it sounds na you are making fun of the person that you're talking to, or it sounds that you're not sincere. So please don't put that. It's really not good. Now, next, the grammar is easy, a little bit harder for the social linguistic. Now it's discourse competence. This one is harder. Why? Because ability to produce coherent and cohesive communication text. Because this time, you need to have kanina appropriateness lang for context and social forms. But this one, you need to have your ideas logically and cohesively. because this is the time that you will use it to converse other people because you want like to get something. Kaya nga discourse. So for example, a seeker tells a story about their vacation, starting with the flight and finishing with the return home without jumping around. So you could do it for point A, for point B, diretso. Because at first you will know how to form the language. The color is my favorite color is pink. So social linguistic competence, good mo. And now you will think, when is it appropriate? But for discourse competence, ano, anong gusto mong sabihin? Why, it's not just about the colors that you want, but you're getting somewhere. You're telling a story. Hindi siya yung you're just feeling it, but you need to talk. All right. So, and the last one is strategic competence. This one is very hard, and it means that you're in advanced level. The ability to handle communication breakdowns and overcome gaps in knowledge, in language knowledge, problem solving and communication. So, example is a learner forgets the word airplane and instead it says the thing that flies and carries people in the sky. So, this is, my dear student, this is what I'm telling all of my students. We keep on saying that, naku, sa totoong world, dito sa public school or dito sa pagtuturo, we cannot use Tagalog kasi hindi tayo maiintindihan ng bata. If that's your term, it means that you don't have the strategic competence. Why? Because when you speak, and when it comes to this matter, you said you now need to use Tagalog words to explain. It means you're not competent enough. Kasi regardless of when you are describing, for example, that one, I remember there was a time that kasi I cannot say I often, but I went to different countries many times already. And the last one is in this country. I will not tell you this country, pero I think I will tell. But during the discourse, sometimes you don't know how to, we cannot use the same words, and especially if we talk to other from a person from different country, you will think uh there are certain words in which it's different from them. Certain words are different from them, and also certain actions they're not familiar with. So for example, oh, I was telling someone too about in Philippines, if we do, sorry, I forgot their topic. Oh, for example, in Philippines, we do have token. And then she said, what is a token? So when we go to in Philippines, and since you're a teacher, in Philippines, if we will go to a school during your FS2 and practice teaching, we have a certain payment. And according to memorandum of agreement, and a principal will get a 1,000 peso, and your 1,000 peso, and then your other people, they will I mean the cooperating teacher, the one that's in charge of you, will get 300 pesos. So that's it. So I told. So I was since I was sharing because my studies about student teachers. Now I was actually telling my side of the story. So I was telling, no, in the teaching, when it comes to teaching in Philippines, we do have cooperating school in so and so and so, and then we give them tokens, or sometimes they have a fee. And then this American lady, she said, "Oh, what is a token? And what's a fee?" A token is where we give people right after their OJT or internship, they will go to the different place. They will pay. I mean, public school, government funded school. After that, after the 60 hours or 190 hours that they stayed in the school, we will be give according to our memorandum of agreement. We'll be giving 300. We will be giving 300 peso for the teacher, the cooperating teacher, and we will also give 1,000 peso to the principal. What is 300 pesos? It's so I searched. Okay, so based on the research that I had did, based on internet, 300 pesos is almost less than $5. What? $5 for how long? So for 60 hours, I think it's a semester. What? Really? And she said, so if you cannot speak the language, it's hard for you to tell this person. How can you describe? Ano? Wala kayo nun? Kawawa ka naman. Oh my God. Diba? So now, in English major students as well, you'll be going to different country. And I'm encouraging you to grab this opportunity. You know why? Because I was talking to Sir Ash. I know you're familiar with him. She's the student teacher of Dr. Vicencio, Dr. Christy Vicencio. And I was talking to him. He is now in Thailand for his OJT and he'll be going next year. So, uh, when I was talking to him, he was telling me that, ma'am, until second year na lang po ang makikinabang ng OJT. Until second year? Why? OJT ng Thailand/China. Ay, ng Thailand. Yung China kasi it's a different story. Why? Kasi po ma'am, Korea na daw po ang next. First years, imagine. You may be going to Korea for your OJT. How is that? Do you like that? Do you want to go to Korea and feel the K vibes? If that's what you want. But in addition to that, you may have different opportunities in which, you know, it will be easier for you if you'll be good in conversing. And you will be also helping your students in the future if you will know how to converse properly. You cannot tell me that, Mom, I'm sorry because my vocabulary is very limited. Ganito na lang po ako. My God, hindi dapat ganun. It should be, Ma'am, mababa po ang vocabulary ko ngayon, but I'm learning. I'm trying my best. You know what you could do? You could watch many TV series. But for me, my say for this one, I usually want you not just to watch TV series. I actually want you to watch TV series that is very humorous. Yeah, like Big Bang Theory, Friends, Modern Family. I love those three. How I Met Your Mother. Because, and I also want you to watch some English jokes, stand-up comedy such as stand-up comedians such as Gabriel Iglesias, Russell Peters, Joe Coy. The reason why I'm asking you to do such thing is because I want you to learn the language and not just a very one that is very stoic or very the thing that you cannot use. I want you to learn the language. I want you to enjoy learning the language and read. I want you to read. While doing so, I want you to enjoy it while doing those things. Because when I was learning the language, for instance, I will go to an interview. I don't usually study I don't study. I watch a lot of videos, a lot of movies that is more conversation because I'm trying to adapt the way they teach, the way they pronounce the words, the way they converse. And I don't want to be kind of, when I speak to people, especially if they have um language, what you call this, foreigners, I do speak like this one. It feels like I'm conversing. I'm very I want to converse with them. I'm not challenged. I don't feel discriminated for them. And the best thing that I have received, comments that I receive, is that they thought that I'm from America because I speak fluently. And I said, "Oh my God, this is it." And it's not I'm an American said that. So OMG, I'm so happy. I'm so, so happy because I can now present it easily. So, and for me, that's a good thing. That's one of the best thing that the best compliment I have received aside from I am beautiful. Just kidding. I'm also fat. All right, so let's now have the next lesson. Okay, so if we will think, what is a key contrast for this? For instance, the primary goal, the grammatical competence, the key contrast would be the accuracy in sentence formation. That is the primary goal of grammatical competence. But when it comes to social linguistics, it's the appropriateness for the social and cultural contents. Whereas discourse competence is the coherence and flow in extended communication, and the strategic competence is overcoming challenges in communication. So as you can see, they are different because one is about the accuracy, the second one is appropriateness, and the discourse is the coherence and flow. While strategic is you will use this to strategize and overcome different situations. That's why the focus of each competence, one for the focus of grammatical, of course, is the rules, the how the word is formed, how the sentence is constructed, lower level. But for the social linguistic, are you polite? Is it appropriate? Yun. So, yeah. So, I think creativity is third. So, now, for the monitor module. So Stephen Krash's monitor model is all about understanding how we learn acquire language. It's made of 5 ideas or hypotheses. So I think we already clear with the difference between language acquisition and language learning. When we say language acquisition, we mean by the naturally how the students, how the kids learn the first language. Maybe they heard it from their parents, the things that they have watched and start and then now start talking without worrying about mistakes. They don't care about it because they don't understand mistakes by that time. And then later and later, an example of language acquisition is, for example, isn't it that since kids start repeating what they heard, we are not allowed to say bad words during this early stage. For example, you're not allowed na magmura or say very bad words because the kids will definitely adopt what are you saying. And learning, in the contrary, is when they start formally learning the language that they have in school. So there's a difference between acquisition and learning. So next, we have the natural order hypothesis. This is a language learning, the specific order, no matter how it's taught. Some parts of the language just click. For example, about learning English, most people start using ing, and that's usual we do. Running, singing. So because it's progressing, 'di ba? I am running, I am singing, I am dancing. So those things. But you don't know that there's a subject and verb agreement for that matter. You didn't know that you will when you stop running, you ran. But before you run, you will run. And there's no such thing as run. Yeah. So sometimes we don't know what the difference between ing and ed. Now you start learning it little by little. No? Now, the monitor hypothesis naman, your monitor is like an editor in your brain. It uses what you've consciously learned to fix mistakes without you. Ito yung monitor hypothesis. May mali eh. There's something wrong with this. And sometimes consciously you try to edit it. For example, I remember some of my students, they were they were conversing. Shucks, mali sinabi ko, no? I said wrong. I said, it should be like this one. So, your brain has an editor here. You keep on editing and editing words because you keep on being exposed to the correct words. Now, you are editing it out. That's the reason why we need exposure based on experience. So, I'm talking about this based on experience. There was a time when I wasn't really very, I cannot say addicted. I wasn't exposed to this language before. And oh my God, my grade in English, it's 75. Oh, no, not 75. I think 79 and then 77, 78. I don't know it. I don't like grammar at all. But now, every time I see a wrong grammar inside, especially when I see, please keep silence. I saw that. I don't want to see. I don't want to tell you. But, but please keep silence. I didn't hear that before. A moment of truth. Keep silence. I never heard that before. Observe silence. That one is correct. You always see that in different signages. Keep silent. Please keep silent. Okay. So sometimes we now edit. It will stop. But you need to be exposed in this kind of environment. The input hypothesis, already discussed that one. Affective hypothesis also, already done with that. Okay, now, why does it matter? Krashen's ideas show that language learning is a mix of natural exposure, thoughtful practice, and emotional support. Whether you're a teacher or learner, the key is to focus on meaningful interaction, progress on your own. So next time, learning a language, remember to interact naturally is acquisition. Don't worry if some takes time, which is natural order. Use your inner editor wisely, the monitor. Challenge yourself with interesting input, I plus one. Keep your confidence high and stress low for effective filter. Right? So that is the part one of our discussion. As you can see, we have 10 more pages to go. Don't worry, 10 na lang. 17 pages tayo all in all. Or 27, sorry, 20 more pages to go. So I'll be recording it next time. So, but I think I'll be finishing it this day because I'll be needing to go to our campus na, and that's it. Later, I think this is a three-part video in which we will discuss the things that is included in your final exam. So thank you very much. See you soon. See you later pala. So stop recording na tayo. Baba, mama. Shup, shup. Okay, I cannot click the stop recording. Alrighty, bye.